think between that 100 and 200 range, there is a lot more subleases now that have hit the market in an already pretty saturated market where there's a lot of availabilities between 100 and 200. So that's just going to take those vacancies longer to lease.
Good day, Industrial Advisors listeners, and thank you for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, please do so by clicking subscribe wherever you podcast. Click the like button and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we put up new content. Leave us a comment about anything we discuss here today or general comments about the show. Now, let's get into it.
All right, welcome to our Industrial Advisors podcast. Today we have a 5-minute Friday. Our topic is subleasing, which, Matt, I know we got some good stats.
Welcome to Fridays. So, as you know, a few weeks ago, I was like, gosh, Bill, it seems like every day I'm seeing a new sublease flyer. Like, what's going on? So we got our national research digging into it, and it was what I kind of thought times like 10, right? Crazy numbers. So let's just jump into them and talk about it. So let's back it up 1 year. A year ago in the U.S., so fourth quarter 2021, there was 10.2 million feet of advertised subleasing in the U.S. 4 quarters later, today, there is 45 million, or an increase of 78% in 4 quarters. That is staggering.
Yeah, and that's not just Amazon. People think, oh, well, that's the Amazon effect because they're subleasing. It's across the board. We're starting to see it.
I believe Amazon is less than 10 million feet because they announced about 10 million feet earlier this year. And I know a lot of that did get taken. So less than 10 million feet of this is Amazon, from what I understand.
Yeah. So it's, all of a sudden that becomes competition in the marketplace. But yeah, it's really accelerated. And a lot of that, I think, has been over the last kind of quarter-ish.
Yes. And in Seattle, just to touch base on that number, statistically, it's about the same. So fourth quarter last year, we had 151,000 feet in the greater Northwest region. Today, 864,000 feet, or an increase of 83%. So right in that, 78 nationally, 83 locally. Let's talk about, what does that mean? Like, how is that going to affect tenants? How's that going to affect landlords?
Yeah, I mean, it's more competition, obviously. I think it's different, like specifically in our market, if you look at what size it is. Right now, it seems like we had a 45,000 square foot sublease that we ended up just doing a direct deal on. So if you're 25 to 50,000 feet, that market's still super active. I think between that 100 and 200 range, there is a lot more subleases now that have hit the market in an already pretty saturated market where there's a lot of availabilities between 100 and 200. So that's just going to take those vacancies longer to lease.
That's right. I jumped on a call this morning with a major landlord and a tenant that wanted to take down a big sublease that we have. And, the issues with sublease, you're getting yesterday's rates, right? And we've had massive rent growth, right? So they would be taking over what was a 10-year deal. There's 5 years left on it. So, those were rates of 5 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. So the advantage for a tenant going in is obviously capturing yesterday's rates. The disadvantage, which is why they pulled the landlord into the conversation, was, can we get a renewal option? Because they're going to be spending, several $1 million putting infrastructure in. And then are they going to get hammered on the renewal?
Yeah,
right?
Which they will. I mean, you're going to go to market, so you have to just assume that you're going to take this, whatever, remaining term on the sublease, take the benefits of those rates, but by the time it's over, it's you're going to market. I have a 3PL client, really good client. They have about 1 million feet in the area, which is about 100,000 square feet too big for them right now. So we went out to market and offered 3 subleases with the intent of just subleasing one of the 3. So subleases are out there, but not all of them are truly available, right?
That's right.
So there's some of that, I think, too.
That's right. So moving forward into 2023, if we had a 78, 80% increase nationally in subleasing, it seems like, when you look at the graph, and we'll attach it to the footnotes of this podcast, the graph looks like a hockey stick, right? It's just shooting straight up. What do you think that do you see that continuing, and what's going to be the impact on rates?
Yep. I think that in primary markets, when you look at like Puget Sound, Southern California, New Jersey, there's not going to be a huge impact, right? Rates are not going to be impacted.
Right.
I think in some of the markets where vacancies are a little higher and their secondary markets, you will see rates drop because those landlords are not going to be as bullish, and they'll want to compete with those subleases and
That's
go
right.
get deals done and fill their buildings. So I think, yes, it's going to impact the secondary markets. I don't think it's going to have a huge impact on the core markets that we're seeing really good leasing velocity in.
Do you see that trend, that upward trend, going up significantly or leveling off in 2023?
I think it's going to level off.
Yeah,
I
agree.
think we're going to start to have some stability, and things will kind of level off, and because there's been such a big increase, right, in the subleasing numbers.
Crazy.
I don't think that's going to continue. I think it'll start to level off, and I think some of those spaces will get absorbed too.
Agreed. Well, thanks for listening to 5 Minute Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
See ya.